Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 178 of the Pop Culture Podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me for today's show is none other than the one, the only LFL All-Star and LFC prospect, Miss Ty Emery. Ty Emery, how you doing today?
G'day, mate. I'm doing good today here in Thailand. How are you over there in America?
Hey, I got to say this right now. When we were talking about doing this show, I said, let's do this Phuket, Thailand, your time there, which is 10:30 in the morning, and now it's 11:30 at night here. So I'm good. I'm a night owl, and what a better way to spend a Saturday night to talking with my homegirl, that being you, Miss Ty Emery. So I am good. Yes.
Thanks.
You're very
That's
well.
how you want to spend a Saturday night. Who wouldn't?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Ty Emery talking about some Jack Frost 2 Attack of the Killer Mutant Snowman. I'm there.
I'm there too.
All right. Well, I'll be honest with you. When you are here in the States, I figured we can watch this together, but I figured for a podcast we can discuss this because I said to myself, look, we've touched upon this in our past episodes. So I said, hey, and I remember when this was on TNN before it was Spike TV here in the States at like 2 o'clock in the morning. For God's sake. I mean, they aired it with all the Christmas movies, but like the late night, they aired this one because it's a Christmas movie to an extent, but it's got the horror-like feel to it. So now it's Jack Frost 2 Attack of the Mutant Killer Snowman, not to be confused with the Jack Frost that came out a year later after the first one was the first Jack Frost of the horror genre, not to be confused with the one that was with Michael Keaton and Kelly Preston that had a happy ending where Michael Keaton, who unfortunately passes away, turns into a snowman and helps his son along the way before going into heaven and the snow dissolves. That little happy ending, very sad type of feel to it. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about the comedy horror film genre that is Jack Frost. And I got to say this to you. Now, after watching this movie, which is now officially going to be 20 years old this year, what did you think after rewatching this?
This was the awesomest movie I've watched in ages. It had it pulled out all the ropes for me. But hey, I like all those old classics like Freddy Krueger, all the Screams, Mike Myers. Like, I love those old school sort of horrors. So I loved like the Mutant Killer Snowman. I loved it.
So for those that don't know, it's the sequel to the original Jack Frost from 1997 that also starred Christopher Alport, Stephen Mendel, Rob LaBelle, the film debut of Shannon Elizabeth, and Marcia Clark. So we saw in the first one, obviously, Scott McDonald, who plays the main character in this, Sam, dissolves him with the antifreeze. But this time he's back. And with their DNA in each and every one of them from the first one, they have like these psychic links with each other, which is a nice effect in the film. But yeah, I gotta say, watching this back again, having a better understanding it, because like I said, I remember seeing it as a kid briefly when I was 8 years old. And my first inkling, I thought, because like I mentioned at the beginning, it's like, oh, Jack Frost. I didn't know they made a sequel, thinking Michael Keaton, Kelly Preston. Oh boy, was I wrong.
I think he was in for a really rude awakening.
Hell yes. What was funny about it is because as I'm rewatching it, because I found the YouTube link, which this is before we even talk about the movie, we got to talk about this because we were discussing doing this show, and I said, Ty, look what I found, and you were just like, oh my god, because somebody put up a YouTube link, the whole movie of Jack Frost 2.
Which just shows how old it is. Like, for it to be 20 years old, like that's when we're getting into YouTube first began, and you could still find all those old bangers and classics on YouTube that had like 6 hours of information. And now I'm pretty sure, isn't YouTube capped at like a certain time? Like, you can only upload videos that are X amount of minutes, and rather than all the old good stuff, that's just like all the whole movies, full documentaries, true full audiobooks. Usually you got to find those ones when they're like YouTube first opened up, and even then I feel like it's slowly taking all of the good information down anyway.
Well, here's the thing about that. Actually, you bring up a great point. I'm actually glad that you brought this up. It's one of those things where you get to pay for said movies now. They're only like $5 on YouTube, and they'll divide it into parts. But it's just like, I hear what you're saying, and what's actually interesting is YouTube first came into fruition in 2005. So this movie officially came out 5 years before YouTube started. But when that person put up the movie, it was in 2014. So that movie's been sitting on YouTube for the past 6 years by that user.
Dude, that's ages. Yes. And God bless that person.
God bless that person indeed. But yeah, so I found it. We watched it. I'm gonna say this right now. Okay, cheesy as hell, but I loved it because it made me crack up. Because we start off with he's in the therapy room and he's getting the therapy talking about. Here's what I wrote down that made me laugh. Friggin' 38 deaths. Jack was nimble. Jack was quick. Jack gouged eyes with candlesticks. Smashed skulls with sticks and stones. Used iron bars to break their bones. Hit his kill in tiny places so he wouldn't have to see their faces. Like, all right. I like the rhyming. I like the whole, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. You have that whole rhyme to it, but it has that very horror-esque type of feel. It might be cheesy, but I appreciated that.
Someone's in the back. She's a banger. It's a banger, baby.
I would love to be the person who was like coming up with how we're going to do the plot for this theme. All right, we're going to have this whole ass rhyme. It's very pivotal and usage in our overall verbiage, but we're going to make it scary. Why? Because it's a mutant killer snowman. That's what it is. So we have that. They all think he's nuts. And then they go on the trip to the Bahamas. But before we get that, they're in the lab. And here's the thing. He kills the janitor with the icicle because the janitor bumps right into the chemical, the old antifreeze, the whole nine there, and kills the janitor. That's how we start off. We start off with one kill right away. The janitor just bumps in there with his headphones, vacuuming, and he got
so pretty much he because they kept him. He's turned into more like an Alex Mack. Was it Alex Mack or Alex the Kid? And he could turn into that gack and just like hover along. Pretty much that's Jack Frost.
I love you. Okay, so people are talking about, and this is where Ty Emery comes in. She's referring to the show with Larissa Oleynik from the old school Nickelodeon, The Secret World of Alex Mack, which she turned to a freak accident, what happened. It's like a science type of deal with like the DNA, the whole nine there. She turns into this chemical, and she can absorb from room to room due to a freak accident at a plant. Yes, you were correct. We're taking it back.
Yeah. Yeah, so now at least everyone can kind of figure out what our snowman's like.
Just picture The Secret World of Alex Mack with Larissa Oleynik.
Just from one nerdy reference to the next.
See, all right. Now I love that reference. So
what?
I love
see
that.
What?
I'm just saying. See, I love that reference.
Me too.
Oh my god. See, now we go from The Secret World of Alex Mack. Now, here's what I love. Snow Mountain International Airport, but it's spelled Snow Mountain, Monton, like a town. Snow Mountain International Airport. Which, again, it's the little things. It's a little nuances there,
Yeah. It's the small things throughout the movie that made me laugh.
It is. And that just made me laugh for some reason. I'm just like, oh, Snow Mountain. Okay. And then now he doesn't want to go on the thing because of the Bahamas. He's very apprehensive because he has that feeling that he's still alive. But they go anyway. And then we get to the Bahamas, and the Colonel is hilarious because the Colonel thinks that everybody has an agenda just to go there. They're going here for there. And he's like, Mom, why can't they just go out there to have a vacation? Looks like there's trouble in paradise. You know what I'm saying? So you have the Jamaican guy come in who works at the tiki bar. And I mean, like, it's very nice. It's very wholesome. You see, okay. Now, this is where your notes come in. Now,
Did you notice that the barman, his shirt was an Australian shirt?
I did.
Yeah, I was like, he's so gonna see that.
Well,
I was like, look, my brother, represent. Hell yeah.
I did, and I love that. Also, okay, so the guy with the Australian shirt, yes. But I wanted to note because then we see the girls come off the boat, and then the car there, Ashley, Paisley, and Rose.
Okay. I was laughing when they were like, oh, and now we've got these swimsuit models coming out. I was laughing at kind of how doughy they are because I myself have been in those modeling competitions and have been one of those doughy ditzy girls that is getting treated to a trip to a tropical island for a calendar photo shoot. So I laughed the entire time when they had the gimmick of the swimsuit calendar models on there. Because we probably, even down to the icicles, there's a part where they're putting like icicles on their chest, like the entire time it was perfect. And I used to always think that it was like a scene from a movie that someone could come in and just start killing all of the calendar models. So
I'm pretty sure, it's actually funny you mentioned that. There was something similar to that. I think it was like a sorority killer type thing. It was with actually, I think Jerry Lawler, who was in the WWE, the Hall of Famer, played like a cop in it. There's something like that. I'm going to look that up while we're doing this. But yes, I think
really? That'd be sick.
Okay, how about this? Next pop culture show we do, I gotta find that movie and we'll watch that one. I gotta, okay. Anyway,
Perfect.
so we got Ashley, Paisley, and Rose, and they're the kind of girls. This is before we get to the part that she's talking about, which we'll get to, because I have your notes in front of me, and oh boy, when we get to that part, I know what word you're gonna be saying. So
Hey, look, everyone. We called Beauty and the Geek for a reason. And my notes were very thoroughly taken down, and I feel are at an A grade plus level
so she shows me her notes
for all
before
the
we start.
homies out there.
So she shows me her notes before we start this, and I'm like, like it's like I'm grading like a paper here, and I'm like, you could just write. I jotted some stuff down. I'm not your teacher here, man. It's very cute how you did it, but you took some thorough notes. And what made me laugh, because I know your verbiage, which we'll get to, folks, because oh my god, these notes are absolutely awesome. So, well, here's what we'll say about this. Okay, hot bitch status equals death. That's just what you wrote just by seeing some of the supermodels. Hot bitch status equals death. Start with that one.
Yeah, pretty much, because every hot chick, as soon as you see a hot chick, I'm like, yeah, she's dead. And then he kills her. Every single hot chick was dead. It was the worst. It was a sad day. I just thought, why are you going to attack us?
Well,
What did we ever do to you?
it's one of those things where I look at it like they're at the bar, and they're all having fun, they're getting drunk, and it's the tiki type flavor to it. Now the girls are hitting on the two guys, and the guy's like, bro, and it's like the typical like I'm gonna say this right now. I don't mean to be stereotypical, but it's like the typical dumb, like, yeah, bro. They all they say is whatever, and it's the typical.
Yeah, truth.
It kind of reminds me of, okay, here's a movie from 2000. Kids, you can go onto your Disney Plus here. It was a DCOM. Stepsister from Planet Weird. The dude that Courtney Draper was crushing, all he did was talk like this and like, oh, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Kind of sound like the Surfers. Waves, bro. So, yes.
I feel like you went from a little country into like more cowabunga dude.
That's what it was, Tyra. That's what it was, cowabunga.
I love me a southern twang, though.
Yeah, I know. I realized I just turned into like a southern surfer. Wait a minute.
I was like, he sounds like a southern surfer. Oh, hey, babe. Hey. How you doing? You're like, it's a made-up character, Ty. So where's your cousin, the surfer?
Okay. So
Shit.
they're hitting on the guys and they're waiting on the beach before they come. The girl leaves. Now, here's what's weird about it. He's trying to get her with bicycles, and he just goes, fuck it. Avalanches that shit right on her head, and she's dead.
I know. I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny, but that's also where I thought, I was like, really, you guys? That you got to kill her with a weight, but he is a mutant killer snowman, so he can do whatever he wants with ice.
Oh, of course. And then after that, they go looking for her friend there, and Ashley, Paisley, and Rose all get some icicles right in them, and then they're all dead. I almost said all passed away. They're dead. What am I doing? I'm trying to be politically correct with the word dead here. Anyway, I digress. Well, before that, we even get the guys on the rafts, man. And then he finds the carrot in his cooler, and then he friggin' kills the other one, and then he's like slashing through the raft. And I'm like laughing just because of that line. Slashing through the raft. He's got the carrot nose, he's putting himself back together, and he kills the two guys that are on the raft, even before we even get to the girls.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I was wondering, were those two guys from the Jack Frost one?
I believe they were. You know what I'm saying? I believe they were, because the Detective Manners was from the first one, and a lot of people that we saw in it were from the first one. And it's funny because I'm looking at who the cast was in this, and a lot of them are the Star Wars, like the TV shows and Enterprises and stuff. Like they've been on like a lot of soap operas, like Days of Our Lives, etc., etc. So they were very prominent at this time because it was soap opera heaven.
Oh, that probably makes sense as to, I guess, like the acting style. Because although it was a comedy, they was very serious. Like they were very serious, which was awesome.
Well, also, I mean, when you're going after him with like it looks like a water gun, for God's sake, when you're trying to shoot him and they're trying to do the whole nine, I thought that was hilarious. The implements of that.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was great.
Well,
I feel like you need to get to my most important note taken down. So guys, get your pens ready because this is what you really want to know.
okay.
We want the minute to minute scenes where we've got some titty shots. Look, I'm just saying. We got a 43 minutes and 35 seconds. We got titties, guys. So that's 43 minutes in and 35 seconds, as well as a skinny dipping scene. So
right, I'll get to those next. Did you want to go there?
I feel like these are some important notes.
First and
I
foremost,
feel like these are important notes that gave me extension points into my A+ for this
hold on.
for this project.
Hold on, man. The only reason
Yes,
you want to
Michael.
get yes, Ty. The only reason why you want to get to those points is so you can say titties. That's why. Don't act like you want to. You just want to say titties.
Titties. How did you know?
Because I know you. Okay, so
Look, everyone, I want to see some titties. You want to see some titties. We want to see some violence. Unfortunately, on this one, she gets killed. This isn't a wrestling titty violence, but hey, either way, I'm going to take it.
So 43:35, as she has beautifully written down here, they have the model come in. And she's shooting with the photographer. The photographer gets the fucking carrot and everything. We get the coffee. She's rubbing the icicles on her nipples, and he's like, and then she puts it in her mouth, and then just the way that she went. Just again, icicles. There's some tongs up in there. There's decapitated coffee.
Yeah, she went bad. Like, that was a bad death. Oh my God, I felt for her. At least it was instant.
Yes. And I will say this about this because you were talking about your modeling stuff. First and foremost, I want to go back to that for a second. Miss, I was ditzy. First and foremost, you're not ditzy. I'm going to put that out there right now. You are farthest from ditzy. You should stop that. But I understand from
then I don't know what sort of dumb I am because I'm super book smart, A+ student, but just sometimes it's like I've got blonde hair and I can admit it. Maybe I'm just gullible.
No, I mean, sometimes we all have our naive moments and gullibility, but that's about it. It happens.
Naive. I'm going to say that. Look, it is not my fault that I have naive moments of gullibility.
Just created a new saying. Yes. Naive moments of gullibility. So
I think I just dug myself deeper into the grave.
So
like, she's so cute. She's so dumb.
So titties aside, we do get to the we'll mention the other scene you mentioned here. We'll skip around here. We did have the part where the girl, we do see boobs as well and butt because she goes skinny dipping in the pool and then she gets stuck in the pool because she friggin' turned the friggin' ice thing down and made it all cool and she was frozen and froze to her death. Drowned, man, drowned.
Literally. That's not. They say drowning is meant to be like the best way to go because it releases like just as you start to die, you release a huge DMT release through your body, which is relaxing and calming. So they reckon it's once you get over the point that you're going to die and stop freaking out, they reckon it's pretty nice.
It's a random fact.
Not that you should go and drown and test this theory out, guys.
Friggin' I can't even follow that after that. My God, woman. Friggin' book smart talking about DMT. You know, drowning's the best way to go. So why don't we just forget about getting shot in the head in a bison men and I get to talk to rabbits, Lenny and George. Hello.
Bring it.
Yes.
Hey, remember? Okay, so when the photographer got killed, and there was one of the snapshots where he got stabbed in the eye with the carrot.
Yes.
That is the scene. That was the exact moment that I had complete wars with my girlfriends growing up in high school. We had the sleepover, and that we had complete wars over whether that photographer was killed by the carrot or the icicles. And
it was the carrot.
I finally got to see it was the goddamn carrot in his eye. He killed him by stabbing him in the eye with a carrot. To this day, that's going to torment me. My friends they were leaving like, it was the icicles. They would leave these notes in my desks through high school just to like burn at me. and then they brought carrots to school because we were just having the biggest wars over how this guy was like just killing everything. Because I remember just thinking this movie was so stupid. I didn't want to watch a horror movie. I was so angry that they did that to me. Emery being dramatic, who would have thought? So yeah, I was laughing getting to watch some of these killing scenes. I thought that was, who's going to kill people with a carrot? This is just stupid.
Hey, man, we had killer clowns from outer space when they killed them with spitballs and the whole nine, so that's a representation of the 80s.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Maybe 80s TV is just, that's how it went down. I kind of like how corny it is, kind of like Attack of the Giant Blob or just like some old classics.
Well, I mean, we see a lot of these same plots. Like, look, for instance, when you had in the 80s the prom night movies, like there was a killer at the prom. Like, you had the 80s, you had Jamie Lee Curtis, and then you had Brittany
True.
Snow. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's a lot of similarities in remakes. Like, look at the same plot with The Stepfather. The Stepfather, he went after widows. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, it's the franchises.
Damn. Widow life. That's already hard enough, motherfucker. What?
Hey, that's what he
Hell.
wants. He goes. Have you never
Guess.
seen Father still going from family to family, killing everybody off so they can take their money? The widows, man. He wants the money. The do re mi.
Damn. This is a cruel, cruel world. You can never tell if people just love you for yourself.
Yes.
Be broke, people. Be broke. They really gotta like you then.
Okay. One character I have to mention that we have not touched upon yet, man. Captain Fun. Oh, Captain Fun.
Captain Fun was the. Oh, I knew you were gonna love Captain Fun as well because he was great. What about his imaginary side? Okay, activities boy. I was like, that was great.
I cracked up. I loved it. Well, he's the one who also the most memorable death from the scene is I'll be your daddy. Kill dad, kill dad. The little snowman kills.
Yeah. I love that even so Captain Fun's always wanting to have fun, and once again he believes that throwing parties and everybody drinking is just the solution for everything.
I mean, he's
But
not.
he has a dress up party, and and his last through all of the most serious scenes in the movie, he is a skier with a burnt face, and that was his costume.
Yep.
So the fact that he has the most serious scenes and he's just in this most ridiculous costume, there were times where you just found it so hard because he had that fake burnt face. I loved it. I thought he was so good.
It's also very telling when he kept like, "Oh, really? You like that? I always wanted to be an actor, and like I have a solution." And he's like, "Your solution is just a party, drink everything." Yeah, everybody's having fun. Conga.
Man.
Yep. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Look at the part where they're all having a plan to figure out what's going on. Let's not tell the guests that there's a murderer on the loose here on the island. They're all in the back, and then they all just take over the bar and start drinking from the bar, which is great. And they're going chug, chug, chug. Well,
they did a pure Asahi. I want a Asahi beer. That's why I wrote it down because I'm like, okay, Mike, what is an Asahi beer? Where's that from? And why are they plugging it in this American, like old school American, like movie? Is that what they were? Is like Asahi what everybody drank when they went on holidays?
I have no idea. Besides the fact that, from judging from the name and watching it, besides it's Japanese brewery, I don't know if it was that big in like the 2000s, but I just know it's been around for a long time. Let me see how long it's been around. Oh my God! So it's been around since 1889. So yeah, there you go. It's been around for hundreds of.
Whoa!
Yep.
Damn, Asahi got the beer plug.
Yep.
They chose right. They went, you know how we can make our beer better? Mutant Killer Snowman! Oh, who the fuck was in that meeting?
Well, you're not gonna have like a pussy beer like two Zimas, for God's sake, friggin' light. So you're not gonna have Zima.
Oh, sugar.
Take it from I love the 90s. Watch him friggin' talk about Zimas. I mean, one of the most uncool thing. Like, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Henry Rollins said it best on I love the 90s. Who's going to go to a bar and say, yo, give me 2 Zimas? No. Give me a beer. Give me a Coors. Give me something.
What's
Not
a Zima? A beer?
Yeah, it was like one of those like light beers from back in the day. You've never heard of a Zima?
I've never heard of a Zima.
It's like it's like light alcoholic beer. It was from the 90s. It was in from 1993. And then they
So it's a beer or it's white?
Yeah, it's a beer.
Oh. Oh. No.
No.
Not a Zima.
Okay, well, here's the here's the thing about the Zimas. It's from 1993. Then they made a brief comeback in like 2017 and 2018. But yes, it's like a light beer. Think of like Smirnoff Ice. It's like a vodka. It's like light vodka, Ty.
Oh, righto. Yo, Smirnoff Ices rocked out in high school. Not that I'm condoning people drinking in high school, but they were the best, especially the ice flavor.
I was about to say, Ty, where are we going with this, man? You're going to just, corrupt the minds of the young and just have them drink underage drinking.
I was like, that was all. Nobody drink. Don't drink underage.
I'm just saying, when I was in high school, man, beers were the shit. By the way, kids, don't drink. Yes, that's a great PSA announcement there, Mr. Emery.
See, yeah. Do as I say, not do as I do. Unfortunately for us, kids are monkey see, monkey do, so that's not going to work.
I did write this down as well. Now, speaking of, all right, here's the thing, because being from Long Island, and this is what just made me laugh. And again, it's the little nuances, right? So the hotel they stayed at was the Tropicana Hotel. What made me laugh about it was orange juice. And one of the big things back on Long Island, also with orange juice, was Tang's, which was a restaurant also with orange juice. So I thought that was very funny that they incorporated that, because I used to see Tang's and all that everywhere in the port.
Oh.
Yep.
What else was that? Like, what were the other ones throughout the movie? Because I could tell, like, for some of them, I could pick up on a few that resembled other, I guess, horror movies throughout. But what else was there? Like, what else was going on? Like, what are the pure pop culture facts? Because that's the stuff that I geek out on, but then I may not know it or be able to pick it up as easy because, I could probably do that if I read a comic book, but not certain horror movies.
All right. Well, one of the things is the old "if I told you, then I have to kill you," like a mob type of thing, where they were talking about, yo, where's the antifreeze in the beginning, which I thought was funny because they had like a little mob type of thing.
Yeah.
That thing. But you also look at it like when his buddy there, Sam's buddy there, who's with who he was in the original too. Why am I saying Sam's buddy? The man has a name. Oh my God, this is gonna bug me. And again, I'm sorry, but yeah, Sam's buddy there, who was oh geez,
the best friend or the agent?
The best friend, not the agent. Not Agent Matters. The best friend.
His best friend was a pussy. God damn, he left him.
Okay.
He was like, and you'll stay back here. He goes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, oh. You could have at least thrown in you were going to protect the women, but whatever.
Did not care at all. Oh, Joe was his name.
Did not care.
At all. Joe. Okay. So Joe brings out the old, back in 1924. You guys don't think this is weird that we're in the Bahamas and it's freezing cold and everybody's having a snowball fight? Well, back in 1924, back in Montana, there was this.
Yeah.
That's what made me laugh. And she goes, no more Discovery Channel for you.
Yeah, but then she also later on said, I love how you knew all those facts. I love how you know all these random things.
See, well, what I took from that is you also look at it from the relationship standpoint. Like, it's great to have that nerdy person there. Like if you talk about Beauty and the Geek with us, like to know these interesting facts. Then it's like, all right, shut up. It's getting annoying. Stop. You know what I'm saying? So there's that mixed bag of, but it's like, okay, stop it.
Yeah, I guess. I love Milkos when I have a mixed bag of lollies, but eventually I don't want a Milko. I want one of those little banana lollies with little strawberries and cream lollies.
You see, I like your style. That's nice. I like that. Now you're making me hungry.
Yeah, me too.
But those lines, like you mentioned, are great. Also, I laugh because the same scene when he turns down the whole friggin' shuts everything and everything's all cold and freezes it. He goes, Scotty goes, it's another holly jolly Christmas, and I'm like, okay. So they're using a lot of the Christmas songs, like Slashing Through the Raft, It's another holly jolly Christmas, and it's funny. You know what I'm saying? You put the whole horror factor over the Christmas songs, so it's those little
It
nuances.
definitely wasn't a horror. Some of it was gruesome,
Comedy
but I
horror.
wouldn't say. Yeah, it was comedy horror for sure.
Well, look at the Lost Boys. That was a kind of like a comedy horror in a way, very gruesome, but it's very funny. You have the comedy aspects, like So what are you, the flying nun? What about Nanook? What'd you do to my dog, you asshole? So you have the comedy aspects and the horror.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Lost Boys is a good movie too.
It is. Now, I'm going to say this right now. The first one. The other two, no. I can't do the other two. The first one, the OG, is the best out of them.
I think I've only watched the first one.
There were other two that went to direct to DVD, and it just had Corey Feldman in it being the main thing, because obviously Jason Patrick wasn't in that film, and Corey Haim died. So, I mean,
oh, well, that kind of sucks.
You did not know that Corey died, did you?
No.
Yes. He passed away.
I was like, this probably happened when the internet didn't exist?
No, it was like in the mid-2000s he passed away.
Oh, okay. Internet definitely existed.
Yeah, I mean, it's those subtle lines with the Christmas stuff that made it very cheesy and funny, and I enjoyed it. But, I mean, for God's sake, man, everybody's having a snowball fight. Killer snowballs. People are dying from killer snowballs.
You never know. Hey, with what's going on in the world, Killer Snowman is not even that far-fetched anymore. Like, I'd probably roll my eyes and be like, okay, well, someone fucked up and released something, so now we got Killer Snowman. Next minute. That's it.
Yes.
That's
But no,
it, bruh.
it's one of those things where you also have that. And also what I did enjoy was they're trying to kill the little killer snowballs. And then all he keeps going is, we use the antifreeze. We use the antifreeze. And it's like, would you shut up with the antifreeze? You're not going to kill him with the antifreeze. Because they tried to set a trap with him. You know what I'm saying? Which is very interesting in how they did it with the trap. But he could just keep going through everything. You know what I'm saying? They had the colonel was there and oh my God, what the hell was it that they had? I mean, this is going to bug me now because, oh my God. Not the bananas, the one that happened before that. I think it was the
it was the cocktail.
Thank you.
It was the rum cocktail.
The rum cocktail, thank you. But yeah, that's like what I'm saying. Like the rum cocktail is in it and killing him with the bananas. It has those certain elements that I enjoyed that were funny, like we mentioned. But like, you know what it is too? The coolant. That was it. The coolant for the generator they used to try to trap him, and it still didn't even work.
Yeah, I thought the coolant was interesting because I thought, I was like, antifreeze and coolant, same thing. I was like, okay. Says every woman pouring coolant into her antifreeze.
But I mean, it's one of those things where, like I said, it has its moments. And the killer banana, it's funny because they talk about the DNA and them being linked together, because he's allergic to bananas. And here's the thing. I never thought I'd see bananas blow up and kill snowmen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Or when did he have all these little baby snowballs? I swear I blinked for 1 second and then I look up and I'm like, oh, cute. But when did that happen? Because he was attached to them.
Okay, so when he was trying to comfort the little snowman, the little snowball that got killed. So remember when they killed Dada and they killed Captain Fun? When the egg hatched there, the snowball, and then apparently there was more of them, and then they killed Agent Manners there.
Mm.
Yeah, so
when did they all come out of the snowman? When did they come out of Jack?
See, that's where I got confused too, because we saw it hatch, and then all of a sudden, Agent Manners is going to look for him. Then you have all these little snowballs running around, killing, and friggin' they chopped off his fingers and chopped off his legs, ate him up Jeffrey Dahmer style. Like, what the fuck?
I liked that scene. I thought that was clever. I feel like the crushed skin or crushed human looked very real.
It did. But again, the Jeffrey Dahmer effect too, because I mean, they're also around the time when Jeffrey Dahmer goes to jail and then gets killed in jail. And then you also have to remember 2 years after that is when they came out with one of those Dahmer films celebrating the life of Jeffrey Dahmer and all the crap that he did killing all those people and cutting them up.
Oh, what the hell?
You never
celebrated it by making a movie.
Well, I shouldn't have said celebrated. They talked about it. They made like a documentary about it. There's like so many films on Jeffrey Dahmer, just like there's so many films about Amy Fisher and what she did shooting, Joey Buttafuoco's wife in the face, Mary Jo.
No, I don't know any of this stuff.
Okay, so
Why? How can people hate each other that bad? Damn.
all right, so being from Long Island, New York, and Amy Fisher is the Long Island Lolita. She was attracted to this. I believe he worked at an auto shop. He was a mechanic, Joey Buttafuoco. She was 16 at the time, and she wanted to be with Joey Buttafuoco. So she got a gun and shot Mary Jo Buttafuoco in the face,
Oh,
and
damn.
she lived. She has a scar on her face
And
now.
she lived.
Yes,
Did that girl die?
Amy Fisher.
Yeah.
No, she wrote. She worked in like as a columnist, like in journalist. Then she did porn, and then I don't know what she's doing now.
Well, I guess that went places for her. She probably made bulk money though.
Okay, well here's the, all right. Now we're going into the Amy.
I'm like, I don't know what. I'm like, what can I say positive about this?
Well, foremost, this is why I love doing this because we'll get sidetracked. We'll get back to Jack Frost 2 in a minute here, people. So, all right, we're all over the place. Amy Fisher, she had a sex tape that came out with her husband, whose name was Lou. She did not be with. She was not with Joey Buttafuoco, but she did go to jail. She did her time, and she married a dude named Lou. Here's what's funny about it: her husband, who she did the sex tape with, and who she was still married to, was a cop. She married a cop.
What?
How ironic is that?
Then he's one of those. That's weird, and that shows that he's some weird cop too.
So yes, they had a
You'd
sex.
have to be. There's no way a normal cop would marry someone who had charges like that.
I know, right? So then they have the sex tape, and then right after that,
Stranger things have happened.
see, all right. So then they have the sex tape, and then Amy Fisher starts getting into the porn. Bow chicka wow wow, and then who knows what happened after that? I just know she did porn.
Damn. What a crazy world we live in.
Now, mind you, as someone who has interviewed people in the adult entertainment industry, sometimes it bees like that. Not in Amy Fisher's case, but we see a lot of crap in every different industries, and we've touched upon this. So
I've got friends, yeah, I've got friends in the industry too, and I've got a mate who actually does a heap of filming. Bad Boy Craven, a shout out to you. But it's cool, like getting to talk to them about a different industry. I guess because it's so easily accessible, like you kind of forget that somebody's doing that as a job. And they're all pretty normal people. Some of their stories, I guess, when they're traveling, and then they've got all of the props, and I think that's sort of funny to hear about, like all the props and just the mishaps that they kind of do on set, just messing around with the crews. I think that's super funny. But hell, someone's got to do it because people are paying for it.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I love doing about those shows is because we get to find, the backstory now, the behind the scenes of said scene and the overall nature and the imagery of it. Because it's not just like Usher, baby, let me love you down. There's so many ways to love you. No, it's not just all about that.
Someone's like, what porno is that?
Baby, let me love you down. There's so many ways to love you. Like, oh my God.
They're like, how many ways is there, Usher?
My God. Yes.
Tell us.
Anyway, back to Jack Frost 2. Okay. The other thing I mentioned that I wrote down, because we covered the snowballs and icicles. I mean, here's the thing. You wrote your notes down great. I wrote little bits and pieces just because, I mean.
Yours notes. Tell me now. Now, be honest, mate.
Yes.
What were your notes? Your notes is where. I know that your notes are going to be a higher grade to mine. And so that's what I want to know. I'm like, give me the note facts.
So he ripped the dude's tongue out because, and all right, this is where the pop culture comes from. A Christmas Story, where he gets his tongue stuck to the pole. He ripped the dude's tongue out. And the way, I'll be honest with you, he's like, thanks, bro, help me get this off. I get the tongue off the pole. And then he just kills him and rips the tongue, stick it to the pole. It was like A Christmas Story, but turned up a whole lot of notches. That's what I wrote. A Christmas Story turned up to a whole lot of notches.
A whole lot of notches. I've had my tongue stuck on the freezer before, and I don't know if you could ever actually get it ripped out like that. I know it was a movie and I know it was fake. But when I watched it, I thought, no, it rips all the taste buds off your tongue before ripping it out of your head.
Well, I mean, okay.
And just so people know, don't lick the freezer because your tongue, like, it literally sticks as fast as it did in the movie, because that's what happened to me. And it was the worst. It hurt and it kind of like burned and dried them out. And I was stuck there for ages. Like, it didn't matter how much spit, it didn't matter what we poured on my tongue. Don't lick icy poles, people. I'm warning you. Yeah, so in the end, I had to ripped off my tongue. I ripped off all the taste buds on my tongue. It bled for so long, and then I couldn't taste food for at least a week, which is really just first world problems, and I shouldn't have licked the freezer. But
First of all, how old were you when you did this?
I think I was like 8.
Jesus.
I know I was old enough to know better, and I had one of my friends over, and I was really just doing it to make her laugh. Which is, hey, who would have thought that? Ty does something to make someone laugh. Like, I just did it for the laughs of it and didn't obviously think any deeper into it. But I was like, oh, well, this will make her laugh, and I'll just pretend my tongue's stuck. Next minute, my tongue is stuck. It was so stuck. It was the worst, man. I got so laughed at by my family for ages.
So in Ty's notes here, she wrote, "As a kid, I licked the freezer and it got stuck. Old school killer scenes, and it totally died." Now you see the difference between that and mine was, it's a Christmas story to the to a whole lot of notches. This one, I like totally stuck my tongue on the freezer and it totally hurt. Old school killing scenes, and you totally died.
And then your notes has legit pop culture facts.
Exactly.
See, that's what I was excited for today, because my facts are just like really like it's like a 13-year-old horny stoner kid.
Hold on. All right, let me tell you something, my love. All right, we're gonna talk about this here now.
And yours are these legit pop culture scholar facts.
Yes, as you can tell, I'll be like,
philosophical pop culture facts.
Yes, I'll be the philosophical one talking about this.
Up there with Socrates.
Check and mate, motherfuckers. So anyway,
Check and mate.
All right. No, it's like she totally died. But you're kind of like totally Kyle. You're like Drake Bell in the Amanda Show. One time, I got my tongue stuck to the freezer, and I ripped my teeth. That's what you're like. You're like totally Kyle, dude.
Yo, I fucking love the Amanda Show. Would you like some beef for jerky?
Yes.
Yes, Amanda Show. Amanda, please.
Yes, I used to go on that website a lot as a kid, just amandaplease.com. Oh, I loved it. Loved it.
AmandaPlease.com. Then she went crazy, right?
Yep. Oh.
God, R.I.P. to the homies that fall.
She's still alive, but her career is dead.
Yeah, her career is definitely dead.
Yeah, let's just reword that, because you're acting like, rest in peace to the homies. You gotta pour some OE on her, man. What the hell are you doing here? This is not a rap video.
What's her job now? What does someone of, she's had that much experience. Then what do they do?
Oh, who the hell knows, man? I mean, I think she's just trying to live her life, get back to that place. Hey, Britney Spears went ape shit for a few years, shaving her head, looking like Sinead O'Connor. Like, I mean, it happens. You fall into that place.
Yeah. Hell, I've even had to do that. As long as it's got to suck to do something like that publicly when you're still just trying to do your thing.
That's true.
So RIP to those homies too.
I was about to say, when you said I did that too, I was about to say, what, you shaved your head like Britney Spears? You get this haircut? I was about to say, man, you got to take that to the extreme.
No.
One time, I shaved my head off. No, anyway.
One of my teammates here, one of the owners of the Powerhouse Gym out here in Rawai, Thailand, Brooke, she shaved her hair off a couple of years ago. She's badass. I think that's so sick.
You see,
Not many chicks can get away with and still just look so feminine with a shaved head. I think that's, to me, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's badass.
well, look at Demi Moore and G.I. Jane.
Yeah, that's badass too.
Oh my God, when she did the infamous scene, suck my dick. Suck my dick.
Dude, I say that on the daily. That's probably, I haven't even watched that movie. She sounds like a G.
She was great in that movie. And then everybody laughed
My
at her. And then
dick, bitch.
that's what she said. And then everybody laughed at her. And then she's like, okay, don't spread it around. All right. I said suck my dick. And it was funny. It's a very funny, infamous scene from G.I. Jane.
Perfect.
I mean, you also look at from the music standpoint when you had Sonique from the UK and she had that song, Your Love It Feels So Good. And that's what takes me high, higher than I've been before. I mean, like that's like late 90s in the UK, and then we see it resurfaced in the US in 2000. Hell yeah, man. Sonique. Sonique. Real life DJ and singer.
Sonique.
Yes. Now, have you heard of Sonique, or is this the first time you've heard of Sonique that I told you about her?
This is my first time, I feel, having a Sonique brought into my life.
All right, I'll send you her classic hit. You too will always take me out, baby. People know what I'm talking about.
I feel like you've really brushed it. I feel like you've done it justice, though, mate.
Hey, man. I mean, now. Unlike my lovely friend here, Miss Ty Emery, I was not sticking my tongue on poles at 8 years old. I was listening to that song when it came out in 2000 when I was 8 years
He was
old.
doing way cooler things than what I was doing.
I was listening to the radio, the top 10 countdown to 106.1 BLI, sister, and it had that song playing each and every Friday night. So it was good times. And watching Much Music, hell yes.
Yeah, I was just jumping out of trees and licking freezers. I was such a shitty kid.
No, you could jump out of trees.
Riding my bike and trying to get home before the lights went off.
You're not a shitty kid. Don't say that. That's not.
I was a feral kid.
Hey,
long live us feral kids. We turn into pretty cool adults.
You are. You're badass and very cool adult.
Yeah.
So,
so are you, dude.
That's all right. So well, you were channeling your inner Brandon Fraser, George of the Jungle. Watch out for that tree, jumping out of trees. You know what I'm saying? Hey, George of the Jungle.
Oh my gosh. That movie. Man, The Jungle Book has had so many movies done from it.
Yep.
And I still think that original Disney, that new Disney version of it is pretty cool. Yeah, like obviously it's the same movie. Like you can't frig it up when it's the same movie, just different visual effect. But I guess that's what Disney does, is just keeps all these movies and every 5 years just redoes it with whatever's brand fangled new.
So this is where I also have to come in with you back to Jack Frost for a second, because I have your notes still right in front of my face. And amazing job. Well, here's the thing. Here's where it makes you feel like school. Like me, I just wrote Jack Frost 2 underline, and I jotted some stuff down while watching it. This one writes June 14th, Sunday, 2020. And like she's handing in an essay, and it's absolutely hilarious. Like she's sending this into the professor, and then she's like, she got washed up on the beach with a mutant killer snowman. I'm like, antifreeze. First time. I'm like, this is great. I just got to say
also, in my defense, I journal every day, guys. So I also wrote all of my notes on the Sunday because this was for my Sunday day.
See?
I also have, I journal for every single day, just trying to track what I'm doing, I track my weight 3 times a day. I write down my food. I write down my training sessions. I write down any spiritual things that come to mind, any affirmations or goals, tasks, you name it.
Okay.
Journaling is very important, but so is handing in your homework. Hence why I did this page and sent my homework in.
Now, here's what's great about it, because she wrote under it too, Jack Frost 2 podcast, starring it up. And here's what's also great about it. You're kind of like, since you talk about journal, and that's great because each and every one of us have our journal. So to make a Nickelodeon reference, you're like Doug. You know what I'm saying? He always used to write in his journal every day, "Dear journal, I just did this today. Pork chop did this." You know, like you're like Doug. You're like
That
Doug.
is pretty much me.
Dear journal, pork chop did this today. Roger Klotz, patty mayonnaise. Yeah, that's you. You're Doug. That's what you are, Tyler. You are Doug.
I can take that.
Yes. And then, okay, so we have all the parts. Kills the bananas. We talked about the killings at the end. Now, speaking of the freezer, freaking Joe and Anna get stuck in the freezer at the end of the damn movie.
Yeah, so yeah, that kind of threw me off because I'm like, oh well, then they're dead then.
Yeah, well, okay, so
Pretty much we just listened to her like they're dead. That's it.
yeah, that's the ending. So he shoots him with the bananas, and he tries Jack Frost, the mutant killer snowman, there tries to kill the wife, and then she shoots him with the bananas. They're dead, and then they're getting off the island, but they leave their friends Joe and Ann in the freezer. And Ty Emery wrote the carrot ending was an fu to them. Now for me, again, just it seems like we've moved on. And we're just gonna leave them in the freezer. Okay, that's random. All right, I guess this is how we really feel about them. Timery, that was a big fu to them at the end of that movie. I tell you. So yes, those are our notes.
Yeah, it was. I forgot I wrote that.
Hey, and this is not me making fun of her. This is just me laughing because the creativity. See, because here's what you did. You did like a full page. I did like a page and a half. So we were about the same in our length of our notes as we were watching this movie. So I applaud you wholeheartedly on this.
Thanks. Yes.
So yes, that was.
I'm always trying to be the best of the class.
Yes. Hey, I'll be honest with you.
But also the worst.
All right, Miss Best and possibly also the worst. Where did you make the honor roll in school? I'm guessing you did.
Yeah, I did every
See?
year. Honor rolls when you're like in the top % of the class. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I was like usually in the top 5 for every single one of my subjects that I did. I was really usually top 5, top 3.
Mm-hmm. I never want to hear.
It was very annoying.
I never want to hear you call yourself ditzy ever again after freaking listening to that. Freaking top 5 in the class.
Well, then what smart am I? You know what I'm trying to say. I know that I'm intelligent. I know I'm intelligent. But then what's the other part where I'm not?
You have your moments of you get naive you're naive with a sense of gullibility. I thought we went through this.
Then why does it just sound like nothing exists in my head during those moments? Like,
you got a lot going on in your mind, Well, I will. There's the old thing, like sometimes the elevator doesn't go to the top. You could say that, but I mean that's also kind of like saying you're dumb. But it's just a very colorful. But it's also very colorful.
I'd be like, look, I'm here, but I have not been listening to anything.
It's just a colorful vernacular of you saying, I totally spaced for a second. I totally spaced for a second. You like that guy? Can you help me get my tongue stuck off the pole?
And we've got to go back to that. I should not have written that in the facts, but I thought it was funny.
Yo, man, I'm not putting my tongue on
Jack Frost is funny.
And I also learned something new about you, man, because I'll be honest with you. I never licked a freezer, but here's where it comes. When you're a kid, and this would also kind of equate to this in a weird way. When you get told not to put your hand on the stove because it's hot, right? You do it anyway, and you don't listen. You know how many times I burned my hand on the damn stove?
Once. I did it once, and same as the iron. I did that once too. Yeah. Man, that burned.
It does. Because you don't listen. You know what it is? It's that old saying, curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah, that's true. Well, lucky the cat has 10 lives because I'm way too curious. I get myself killed every day. But curiosity and having a childlike frame of mind towards the world can also, I feel like, boost it. Makes it exciting again.
Agreed. It's not like childlike dependency, you know what I'm saying? But you have it's the heart of, you got the innocence of a child. That's what you got, the innocence of a child.
Aww. That's nice.
See, you're like Talladega Nights in the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. You're so precocious and full of wonderment.
I got to drive past them when I was living in America. When I was traveling from Atlanta and then driving down to LA for the start of the Los Angeles Temptation season. And I got to drive past, and I remember when I was going past, they were the biggest poles and the biggest flags I've ever seen in my life, and it was so beautiful and green. And I remember thinking, I was like, if you ain't first, you last. If you ain't first, you last. And I remember Jane was like, why are you doing that? And I was like, because it looks like Talladega Nights. And then we drive past this sign that goes, welcome to Talladega. We were like, oh my gosh. I was like, if you ain't first, you last. If you ain't first, you last. That was the best day. It was that's a long trip going from Atlanta to Los Angeles in America.
I bet. And I'll be honest with you, it's also kind of like this. It's like when the kids are screaming, running around the house. Anarchy! Anarchy! I don't even know what
For
it
real.
means. Yes.
I don't know what it means, but I'll say it. That's good movies.
It is. But yeah, that was Jack Frost 2 in our words. Like I said, watching it now, you know what's funny? Like, I'll be honest, when I watched this whole thing, that's why I had to look back just to remember the names. Folks, I watched this movie last night at like 4 o'clock in the morning, my time. I put my headphones in, I was ready to go. So yeah, I spent my whole from 4 to 5:30 in the morning watching that. And then I went,
whoa.
Yeah.
Damn. How did you do that?
I managed to do it because it was only an hour and a half.
That's difficult, bro.
It is, but hey, when you're a night owl like we are, it happens.
That's true.
Yeah.
Night owl times are the good times. It's like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes your brain just wants to function at different times, and for the worse or for the better.
Oh, agreed. 100%. Now, I actually did find this. So I did find the user reviews from IMDb of what some people had to say about Jack Frost 2. Now, are you curious? Do you want to hear these reviews?
I do want to hear the reviews.
All right. I'll read a couple of them. The first one is from JC Doe 2 from December 14th, 2000. And she said, absolutely hilarious. A delicious B- movie. Okay, I'll say it. This movie made me laugh so hard that it hurt. This statement may offend some of you who may think that this movie is nothing more than a waste of film, but the thing that most people don't get is that this movie was intended to be bad and cheesy. Agreed. I mean, did people actually think that a movie about a killer snowman was intended to be a masterpiece? Just look at the scary, in quotations, hologram on the jacket of the movie and you'll find your answer. Instead, like the original Jack Frost, which I thought was just as funny, this movie turned out to be a side-splitting journey into the depths of corny dialogue, bad one-liners, and horrible special effects. And it's all made to deliver laughter to us viewers. It certainly worked for me. For example, Ann Tiller, to her troubled husband, what makes you frown so heavily, darling? If that chunk of dialogue doesn't make you laugh, then you have serious issues. Who in their right mind would utter those words in real life? Of course, no one, because it was meant to sound ridiculous. Just take one viewing of this movie with an open mind and low expectations, and hopefully you'll see what's so damn funny about Jack Frost 2. AFing men. AFing men.
Yeah. No expectations and just an open mind. And it's a funny horror. It's got one-liners. It's got, I feel like, super dad jokes. They try and put in like at least a little bit of classical horror, just for all the horror lovers. Yeah, and it's mainly just cheesy, there for the laugh.
It is. And I mean, pretty much every one of the reviews is exactly what that person, implemented in their sentiments. Because it is. It's one of those, like, you hear, it's so bad that it's good. Some people like this one better than the original one. But at the end of the day, it's just to make you smile. Like, it's to make you laugh. I'll be honest with you. There's been a lot of movies that are out there that it's so bad that it's good, that they absolutely suck. But you can't stop watching because it's very funny and it's very cheesy. So, yeah. People have an open mind. Just don't criticize. Don't be old Siskel and Ebert. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a bunch of bitches. Yeah, I said it.
Fighting words.
Yes. Fighting words. Those would be fighting words. So yes, that's pretty much
fighting words.
Yes. So what I will mention to you that I thought was kind of funny, because everybody is pretty much the same thing, chillingly bad, but it's supposed to be entertaining. Okay, here's two I'll read to you that were actually this person got way too serious with it. This person, Kev McCullough, from November 2005, wrote, "Abominable. This is the worst film I've ever seen, bar none. From the flimsy-looking, poorly lit sets to the laughable acting to the infantile plot and shoddy, drawn-out action sequences, this film is so bad, it's hilarious. For about 10 minutes, after which you'll be reaching for the remote or the power socket to end this film non-experience, although it was obviously made with the entire production and acting staff's collective tongue rammed in cheek. Please, God, I found Jack Frost 2 so dreadful as to be unwatchable for more than a quarter of an hour. If you've not had enough of it after this time, you must be indulging in drug abuse." That's a little bit.
Oh my God. I love how angry this guy got. I was smiling so big. I was cheesing so big because this person got so angry over a film. I think it's crazy when you just watch people flip a lid like that. Hey, like I can lose my anger and get, want to be like, in training. But when people are like that, this movie really ruined his life. And
Yes.
I think for anyone, when they're like, "That's it, I'm writing a letter to the editor."
Yep.
It's the same thing when someone's like, "That's it, I'm writing a review about this movie."
Okay, so there's a infamous song out there called "Fuck This Shit, I'm Out." No thanks. That dude took that song to the extreme. He could have just said, "No, I don't want to watch it." And you can be critical and say like this one was better than that one, but that's just too extreme. That's someone who's really analyzing, dissecting, and deciphering the movie, and it's just like, dude, my God, take it
For
down
real.
for real. Let me see if there's one other one that I could see. Okay.
That guy is right now standing in Walmart with a plastic bag over his head to save him from coronavirus. Okay?
Probably. Somebody's saying why. Okay, that's too long. Why, oh, why?
And he's yelling at the person in front of him for not being 6 feet away. He's that guy.
He definitely is that guy. Man, that dude.
And his finger is in his belly button.
His fingers.
Just to really add to this imagery.
Oh my God. All right, here's one more I'll mention. So this one wrote from DMC Fry from December 27, 2015. This is the last one we'll read because everyone's pretty much exactly similar to the original sentiments that I read before this. While the original Jack Frost was terrible yet fun to watch, Jack Frost 2 Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman is just terrible. The main character surviving from the first encounter with the murderous Jack are back here as is Scott McDonald as Jack himself. However, what it was that made the first film fun is sorely missing here. The effects are terrible, the dialogue is terrible, the acting is terrible, Charles Barkley style, and I could go on and on. I think the original film found the perfect balance of serious and humorous moments. It balanced telling a completely illogical story with just the right dose of not taking itself seriously. This movie just threw story out the window and put all its eggs in the not take itself seriously basket. The filmmaker shouldn't be faulted for this as a movie about a killer snowman should never take itself seriously. However, without some kind of effort put forth to make you care about the characters, that even cheese like this can turn your stomach. While the original will always be a crappy horror flick, this sequel comes off as an attempt at milking money out of an idea. I don't recommend this movie. Again, very
Damn.
long and drawn out.
Have you ever noticed when someone's like see how you're just reading that person's negativity? And I like kind of zoned out a bit. Like it was like me. Like I just all of a sudden was like, this person is speaking so negative. I almost blocked them out. Yep. Bad vibes.
Again, there's a lot of people that take it too serious and critically. Those were just two to name, but yeah. All right, this will be the last one. Now I'm going to try not to go along with this because this one is just funny. I found. All right, and we'll end it here. I know I said end it with that one, but I just found this one. This person.
No, one more. Let's go.
Volmatron_G from April 30th, 2006 wrote the following. Why, oh why did I have to do this? Why did I have to go out?
Keep going. This is great.
Why did I have to go out and buy Jack Frost 2 Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman? So somebody bought this on VHS or DVD and it gets better. Maybe it was a burst of temporary mental derangement, okay? But I'm guessing it's because I kind of enjoyed the first Jack Frost. It was a silly but funny horror comedy which had some okay effects by Screaming Mad George. That and the fact that on the back cover of the sequel there was this nice picture of this guy impaled by this giant icicle coming out of his mouth with a lot of blood. So I thought, if it's as idiotic as the first, it has some nice splatter/gore in it, it should be fun, right? Well, I was so dead wrong. Let me first say that the movie deserves some credit for having an immensely insane and retarded plot. Oh my god. I mean, a mutant killer snowman on a tropical island that spawns mutant killer baby snowballs, which can only be killed or harmed by bananas. As much as I love the premise, I really hated the movie. First of all, while the first Jack Frost looked like an actual movie, seemingly being shot on real film and all, this sequel has the look and feel of a third-rate soap opera. I just said that in the beginning. Anyway, I digress. It has this way too slick shot on video look. The lighting is just plain awful. Bright white spots for the day, looking stupid colors like blue and green at night. The acting, well, don't even go there. The dialogues range from stiff to extremely senile. That Jamaican man was just moronic, saying man after every sentence. Okay. It's a tiki bar.
You need the token black. What the hell?
Jesus. And when it comes to the voice of the killer snowman, all I could think of was a seventh-rate Chucky from Child's Play, spewing dumb and supposedly witty.
Oh my god, I love Chucky from Child's Play. Chucky is so hot. For like a killer, I don't know, there's something like all the scars and shit. You're just like, hell yeah, Chucky's a killer, man.
Well, he's supposed to be badass, so yes.
He's scary.
He is.
That's why he's hot, because he's scary as a killer.
I know. You wanted to be, what's her face, Jennifer Tilly in the movie, man. You wanted to be the bride of Chucky. Is that what you're saying, Ty Emery?
Yeah, I love Bride of Chucky. I actually wanted to dye my hair like that just recently, but then Corona hit and I didn't get to go back to Australia to my appointment.
Oh. All right, we'll finish this one off. Here we go. There's some witness. The best joke was where one guy asked, "Why are you talking to your watch?" And the best scene was, well, that was the Agent Manners, where he's like, "Why are you talking to the watch?"
Because old habit.
Old habit. Exactly. All right. And the best scene was undoubtedly the one with that. Oh my god. And the best scene was undoubtedly the one with that beautiful Asian chick popping out of nowhere and taking a swim in the pool totally naked. Thank God for that. Okay.
Yeah, thank God for that at 43 minutes and 35 seconds in.
I love you. Oh, yeah. And that little scene over the end credits with those two we forgot about that. The two Japanese dudes on a miniature ship being badly dubbed had me laughing too. And then they get...
Oh, that's right.
Yes. They get killed by the carrot, the Japanese dude.
Yeah, they get killed by the carrot. That's when I was like, this is a big F-U to the fucking carrot.
Okay. So, but the worst thing about this movie... And where was the gore and splatter action everyone is talking about? There were plenty of occasions to show some decent gory killings. A lot of people were killed off in original ways here, but all off screen. Like I've read in many other comments, there were indeed nice setups to a head explosion, a crushed body, eyes being poked out, tongue ripped out. But on the crucial moments, the editor cuts away to some blood splatters on the floor, nothing at all. That frontal shot of that British guy being impaled from the back cover of the DVD wasn't even in the movie. I only saw that particular killing filmed from the back, meaning I didn't see shit. I was waiting throughout the whole movie for that to happen, and then I got to see nothing. What a letdown. Could it be that I saw a cut version of the movie? That would be a shame, because only a decent amount of splatter fun could have saved this movie, if you ask me. Seeing a lot of killer snowballs reduced to bloody pulp just didn't cut it for me. Speaking of those snowballs, they were done very poorly. They made munchies look like the state-of-the-art animatronics, but I guess that was the whole point of it. At some point, the special effects crew even turned to some laughably bad CGI. Boy, you really have to see it to believe it. Best is not to see it, actually, because this flick is just too bad. Okay, I did laugh with it, for it kept getting worse and worse. Just stick with the first Jack Frost, and you'll be okay. Just bear in mind that it's a pretty silly horror comedy, but fun in its own right. It's funny, but writer-director Michael Cooney somehow must have realized that he was a pretty bad director after Jack Frost 2, and then focused on writing. Turns out, he then wrote two pretty good thriller screenplays. For The Eye Inside, starring Ryan Philippe, and Identity, starring John Cusack. So the man seems to have some talent after all. Now, it would be far too easy to give Jack Frost 2 the lowest rating possible, so I say 1 point for that naked Asian babe doing the skinny dipping, and 1 point for those completely retarded snowball babies. Way to go, Mr. Cooney!
This reviewer has it down.
So, yeah.
Was that me who wrote that?
Oh, okay. So
I'm gonna go with this guy. I like how he even followed up. He was so angry about this movie that he went to see what other movies that this person has created just to see if they were that insane. And then they realized that they made a couple of good movies and realized that it was because it's just the theme of the movie is like comedy horror.
Exactly. And I will say to that gentleman's review, go out of your way and see Identity. That was actually a very good film with John Cusack. I have that on DVD. Not a bad film. It's
Not
very
a bad film.
not a bad. It's like a mystery type thriller action. It's actually very good. The Identity movie. But yeah, that's our review of Jack Frost 2. As we do go on, I'm glad that we got to discuss this today, Ty, and we got to do our zaniness as we do. But yeah,
Me too.
I had to include the review and because I saw some on IMDb. But those are the three that really stuck out, and I hope you guys enjoyed the passion behind those reviews.
I did. I love it when you see people just flip out like that. I am not the person you want around if you're in that mood because I will laugh at very. What are those moments called? I don't know. They're just funny to me, but you're not meant to laugh.
Well, it's very serious moments. It's very kind of like heartfelt moments. Well, not really heartfelt, but just ranting moments. You laugh at people's rants.
Even though I'm a ranter. I like this movie. I thought I had fun.
Me too.
I thought I was like I had fun watching this movie. I hope people actually watch it. I think it's funny. Definitely not something like if you're wanting to feel productive though.
All right, I will say this. If you guys want to see the film, I'm going to put it on my SoundCloud, MC Larkin 92, so people can watch the YouTube user who put this film up, whose name, if you want to subscribe, because this is from, again, this person put it up in 2014, and it's still there, and I laughed just to see, because I didn't want to go to, like, another streaming site to find this movie to watch it. So it was right there on YouTube, smack dab, right on YouTube, squeeze. Anyway, so you could go to Film Rise Movies on YouTube, and you can check out Jack Frost 2 full movie. It's the first one when you click on it. Film Rise Movies, babies. Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Sick. But yes, Ty and I enjoyed watching the cheesy factor of it and the comedy, so I hope you guys do too. And before we close this out, Ty Emery, it's always a pleasure. It's always a privilege. You and I will do more of these in the future, and we got some more LFC podcasts to do together. I look forward to working with you some more.
I always love working in the little podcast family that we've got.
Yep.
I think it's fun. I think it's cool to every few months, or really, I think we've been smashing one out every month.
Pretty
at
much.
least.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I feel like it's the best addition to, I guess, just getting, speaking more other than just training. Everything is just so training. In my life, everything's, training, boobs. Like, it's not the worst life in the world, but it's definitely fun getting in and podcasting and having these little things. Interesting times.
Hell yeah. And as you guys know, besides Ty, I also do a lot of these with Brittany Savage, a former professional wrestler and a hell of a human being. So, Ty, I'm going to get you on with Brittany and I, and we'll all do one together and have some fun.
Oh, yay. How fun.
So, yes, you're going to see
She's
more.
She's a savage.
Yes. Oh, she is a savage. I got to send you some of her work after this. So, Brittany Savage, Ty Emery on a future show together. Ty Emery and Brittany Savage and I doing reviews like this. And, of course, you're going to get some solo stuff from the Pop Culture History Podcast. But, yeah, man, Jack Frost 2. Funny. And like I said, as an 8-year-old, I was like, what the hell? But as you're a grown-ass man now that I am at 28 years of age, I got to say, I was dying. I was laughing, and I was like, oh, okay. I like the subtleties. But, yeah, not bad. When you get – it's not bad. Not bad at all.
I agree.
So – what we've learned today before I have her promote the social medias is before anybody says anything, again, not ditzy, but she does like to stick her tongue on freezers. Ty Emery, please promote the social medias.
Hey, everyone. Really, I'm just check out my Twitter and my Instagram. It is at TAI_EMERY. On there, we've got links to my OnlyFans, but yeah, mainly I'm out on the Twitters and I'm out on the Instagrams. All of the links, if you want to get more involved with anything that I'm doing, just check all the links out. Things are about to start picking up here in Thailand. We've got fights coming out here in the next few months, so they'll be all my fights will be put up on the OnlyFans, as well as all the behind the scenes for camp stuff. as well as behind the scenes for modeling, for the shoots that we're going to be doing out here in Thailand, and all my little projects with that. But other than that, I look forward to doing more podcasts in the future. I love supporting our LFC family. We've got heaps going on with that. I've had a few people reach out and say they've been enjoying the reality TV show. And thank you for me bringing the LFC into their life, because they had no idea that there was this sort of out there, which is crazy to me for someone to not know it exists. But yeah, so yeah, check me out. That's how you can find me, guys.
Links to LFC, like she's mentioned, you get it $3.99 on Viewer Prime, and you can check out LFC on LandryFC.com. You can check out the website, StephenMikeShow.com, for all my works, including LFC. LFC Podcast, Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are. You can find it on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Anchor, CastBizOx, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast needs, Google Play. My goodness, we'll be here all day. WrestlingWithWrestling.com. Shout out to Andre Corbeil. Man, we are all over the place with the LFC podcast. I'm going to say this to you. Check out LandryFC.com. There's a great article with you, Miss Ty Emery, talking about, and yourself. There's a lot of great fighters talking about life during quarantine. A lot of Q&As. Ty's a part of them. Lauren the Animal Fogel was on one of them. So, yeah, you guys can check out a lot of great articles with LFC Prospect and LFC fighters talking about life during quarantine. A lot of great articles on that website. Yeah. Ain't that woo? I was about to say, Ty, you got to give me something. You gave me a woo. All right. I was about to say, why are you going dead air on me, man? I was going to say, man, check out. Yeah. Did you space out?
Check out LFC. Oh no, it's because just at that moment my Skype went down, and I was kind of, you're standing there like, did I miss something important? Hello.
Hey, I was about
Hi.
to do, one time I stuck myself out the freezer.
Oh my.
You're never
I'm
gonna
never telling you anything personal ever again.
You're never gonna live this down. So anyway, for the lovely, the beautiful Miss Ty Emery, check out the LC podcast. Check out StephenMikeShow.com. Check out Wrestling with Wrestling, and stay tuned for more editions of the Pop Culture History podcast. For Ty Emery, my name is Mike Larkin, and we will talk to you in the next episode. Have a great night, everyone.
Cheers.